And get that project or spring cleaning done now. Rick Ballou here for Small Haul Dumpsters. They offer short-term dumpster rental with low rates and zero hidden fees. Saving you more on any size cleanup. Give Small Haul Dumpsters a call today at 552-5555 or go to smallhauldumpsters.com to reserve your Small Haul Dumpster today and get $50 off your first rental. Call today, 552-5555 or go to smallhauldumpsters.com.
Brakes for less is what we do. We know drums, rotors, pads, and shoes. If there's a squeal in your wheel, come see the best. 733 Stop.
Brakes for less.
All we do
Are brakes for less.
Hey, Hicken here. Hey, folks, one of the main things you can do to keep your family safe and healthy, frequently clean your carpets and other living surfaces. Zero Res came out to my house this year, and man, did they do a job. That house has never looked better, and I've been in it for 17 years. Now until Father's Day, Zero Res offering 25% off all cleaning services. I mean all their cleaning services. Call Zero Res at 287-5727, 287-5727. Zero Res, man, spell it forwards or backwards. It's the right way to clean.
Home of the Jacksonville Jaguars. WJXL AM Jacksonville Beach. WJXL FM Jacksonville Beach.
This is your Southeast Orthopedic Specialist local sports update. I'm Andrew Gibson for Tintin XL. This update brought to you by Southern Oak Insurance. The NBA is set to return to action July 31st at Disney World. The league is inviting 22 teams, 13 from the Western Conference and 9 from the Eastern Conference to play 8 regular season games and the playoffs in Orlando. The NBA is planning to have daily testing for the coronavirus. Teams will begin training in July and resume the season on July 31st. The NBA suspended its season March 11th because of the outbreak of the coronavirus. Jaguars owner Shad Khan released an op-ed today that addresses the topic of racial injustice. You can read it at jaguars.com. At 3 o'clock, 82 degrees. Your time and temperature brought to you by Bueller Air Conditioning. Stay cooler with Bueller.
This 1010XL 92.5 FM hour is powered by Anajar and Levine Accident Attorneys. Call 904-600-4000. That's 904-600-4000.
Frank, Hayes, Lauren, and Gibby. The Frangie Show starts now on Tintin XL 92.5 FM.
What a beautiful Wednesday afternoon here on The Frangie Show. That means it's a Kitchen and Flooring Design Center Wednesday. Frank Frangie and Hayes Carline are still on vacation. I join them starting tomorrow, so Tony Smith will take over commandeering this ship. But all week we've had James Coleman and Matt Hayes hanging out with Andrew Gibson and myself. Gentlemen, Phase 2 opens on Friday. That means bars and pubs can reopen and at least 50% capacity or more than 50% capacity outside. They can be full outside, but up to 50% capacity inside. That's big news here on the First Coast.
That hasn't okay.
That hasn't
My
happened.
bad. I don't want to snitch on anybody. So
no. So
okay.
any establishments that serve food, they've been allowed to be open.
Okay.
Any places that just serve alcohol, they have not been able to open.
All right,
yet.
cool. I didn't want to be the guy to snitch on my my cigar lounges, but they serve food.
No, they serve food,
so we're good. We're
That's
good.
right.
Somebody said it was quite crowded last Friday, but that's not something to do. I am still going to be cautious. If there's no VIP, if there's no back room, I'm not going. I don't want to be around a bunch of people yet.
Okay, I need to clarify something. And Matt, since you just walked in, you missed this part, but I think you'll enjoy it. So James said that every first date he's ever taken a woman on has been to Checkers because that's a test for the female. And if she's not good enough for Checkers, these are his words, she's not good enough for Ruth Chris. Yet this is the same person who just said, if they don't have a VIP or a back room, I'm not going. Please make sense of this.
I've heard him say that before. I've heard him say that on Sports Den before, and it's awesome. It's like, remember the movie Diner? Same thing.
I don't.
Same thing.
But I don't know.
I get it. I'm actually all about that too. Because the idea is she's not someone who will say, "Yeah, I'll have a burger with you. I'll have a fast food burger with you." Then she's not real. Is that basically what you're trying to say?
That's basically what it is. Like, I mean, well, now I'm nothing. So I mean, it's okay. Like now, but then it was like, you're not gonna be with James Coleman and just think we're gonna get VIP everywhere. I need to know if you're down in the dirt with me. And you know, that's one of the places. Even though it's also when I was a college student, I'm broke. So for $20, like
True.
we can eat like kings and queens at Checkers, but $20 at Ruth Chris might not get us an appetizer, unless we go at happy hour. Because
Right.
shout out to them because they show hella love, as my man Jalen said.
Yeah, exactly.
But what I say about now I'm older. I don't want to have my shoes stepped on. I don't want to bump into a lot of people. I want to be able to go somewhere and sitting down and listening to music. I value so much for the last 5-6 years because my feet start to hurt when I stand up. So that's why I say if it doesn't have a VIP, because I can't sit down, I also can monitor my pour. Bartenders get a little skimpy with the pour. So like now I know I'm going to get a good healthy pour. I'm going to be able to sit in the back and then I'll smoke my cigar. So like the place I go, Aromas, has a back lounge. No matter how many people are in the front, I just go to the back lounge and chill out and drink and do my thing and then go. Like I've done that all, well, not the drink part, but I've gone to the back room at Aromas, chilled out, have my cigar, because I'm tired of talking. I don't salute to you, Frank and Hayes, and anybody who thinks that they can do your job for 3 hours. I have no idea how people do this, but I don't want to, and then I got to come back and talk for 2 more. I don't want to talk to nobody for that little break.
Sure.
So I'm just like, leave me alone, let me smoke, and then I get my mind right, and then I come back here and we have our shenanigans here on Monday.
See, if a guy asked me on a first date, Matt, and he said, I'm going to take you to Checkers, is that okay with you? I'd be like, well, that's fine, but can you grill cheeseburgers instead? Because I'd rather have a, hand-pat homemade cheeseburger or,
No, that's fair.
home-cooked cheeseburgers
That's fair.
than necessarily fast food. But that's me. Is that being too picky?
No, I'm okay with that. But I guess with James, and I agree with what he's saying it's really, I don't even know if it's like, hey, let's go get a burger. That's what I would say. Let's go get a burger. You go to Checkers, and if the conversation is more important than the burger, which you're hoping it will be, who cares what you're eating? Who cares where you are? If you connect conversationally, it doesn't matter, right? And I think that's James' point. You want to see if she's down with you where she's going to go get a burger. She doesn't care where she is, and then you're talking to her. That's where the rubber hits the road. Am I right?
Right, and then there's no inside
we're helping you
area.
out right now, Lauren. Right?
There's no inside area. Yeah,
and every other
I'm
single
not
woman.
single.
And then I'm saying, like, we're gonna stay in the car. We're gonna chat. We're gonna listen to some music. It's gonna be cool. Everywhere else, you can actually go inside. Plus, it's about an investment. Like the investment of time, the investment of, like if she's just like, okay, dope. I already know where this is gonna go. We're gonna have a blast. It's like,
Right, if you get one of those.
yeah. Well, let me
not
know.
good,
Like
man.
now, if you're a vegan, that's probably not the best place. Men. My relationship advice is tweak it a little bit. Find the Checkers of the vegan world. I don't know what that is. I can't help you, but if she has certain restrictions or diets, okay, I get that. But too many people go like shoot for the stars, and like that's now you're setting a precedent. Like if the first date is really, really expensive, like I might have got my check that day or something like that. I can't provide that kind of lifestyle for you. I don't want you getting your hopes up. That's a like maybe special occasion, but I can provide Checkers every week, sometimes twice. so
It's 1, 2, and Gibby's in there shaking his head too. By the way.
I mean, I'm sorry,
Well,
man. It's worked for me. It's worked for me.
I'm not on the other side of things.
No, I don't think you are.
I mean, I'm somebody who, I'm not single now, but back when I used to date, it was always like, hey, let's split the chick. That way, if we don't want to
you're a
necessarily
saint.
see each other again, there's not this like, well, he paid, now I feel like I owe him one more
I definitely don't
time
do
out.
that,
Like,
but I
but I
understand.
at least offer. And then
Yeah.
if the guy says no, fine. But if they want to split, then I think that's perfectly fine. At this point in your life, or at least at this point in my life back then, like I'm working, you're working. I don't think there needs to be this, it's nice to have the chivalry about it, but I don't think it's an absolute must that the guy absolutely has to take someone to an expensive restaurant the very first time around and pay too. And especially like I'm somebody who I'm not the pickiest eater by any means, but I am an expensive drinker. Like what I like to drink is usually expensive because I like wine, and I like usually the more expensive of the wine. So I don't want you to have to feel like you have to pay $30 just for my
I was
drink.
about to say, I was about to say, what? You throwing back Macallan and Balvenie and Scotch, all kinds of Scotch? That's what I'm talking about.
Sorry, yeah, not Scotch. But those are expensive too. And like I like bourbon probably more than Scotch because it's a little bit sweeter. But either way, regardless, any drink I order I feel like is at least $10. It's not usually like the $4 domestic beer. Back in like my college days, of course, that's what I drank, but not anymore. So I would hate for like on the very first date, this person to have to pay for all that alcohol because that's not even including the food.
Yeah, that's where it gets expensive.
Matt, you're just looking at me
That's
like
why
I'm
Checkers
crazy.
completely...
No, I'm not looking at you crazy. To me, it doesn't matter because if the conversation's not good, I don't care how much money I'm spending or not spending.
Sure.
But think about this. So for years, when I was just talking, I was St. John's Bluff. That's my Checkers. I only get a chance to go if I'm coming from the airport or stuff like that because it's nowhere near my house. But they're used for years. There was a ABC Fine Wine and Spirits right across the street. You can come get your Checkers.
Perfect.
Go get some ABC Fine Wine and Spirits. Indulge responsibly. And, well, maybe there's no way. Maybe go to somebody's house and then have a good conversation and have a great time. So, but that's my biggest thing right now is when I do go out to drink, because we have the sports that is sponsored by ABC, it's very difficult for me to go spend. I know what that bottle costs.
Right.
So it's tough for me to go spend that kind of money when I know I could probably for one of those drinks or one and a half, I could just go dig into my into our sponsorship pool and just go get the damn bottle for free. But that's me being cheap now.
I think that's something during all of the, quarantining that people started to realize. Like I know a lot of people that are probably a little bit younger that went out a lot before the pandemic hit. And they're like, I now realize just how much I was spending. When you're in it, it's just your life and that's what you do. But when you take a step back and it's been a month or so since you've actually gone to bars and restaurants, all of a sudden you look at your bank account and they were telling me like, I spent, close to $1,000 in 1 month just on going out. And I was like, holy cow. But then even if I looked at my own, it'd probably be $300 to $500 in restaurants, and stuff like that versus the eating at home that we've done over the last few months.
Right, $1,000 a month, huh?
That's what one person told me. Yeah, it was close to $1,000 in 1 month. Now that was probably a 5-week month, and it was probably a super fun, busy month. But still, I think that is one thing that I've learned is we don't have to eat out quite as much as we were before. I think it's good to scale that back a little bit because it can be expensive, and then it's not special if you go all the time.
Yeah, I like going out. I got to be honest with you. I do. No, I do. I'll tell you why. Because I
like it too.
I like the service aspect of it.
Sure.
And I like paying for that service.
Okay.
So I like someone to come and take my order, bring me my food, so where I'm able to converse,
Sure.
and then the food comes and you eat and you have a great time. Food goes, you pay the check, and
No
you
dishes.
pay them. No dishes. You pay them for their service. So I like that aspect. I like doing that. I like going out and patronizing restaurants, and if someone does a great job, I love being able to say, I'm going to give them 30% tip because she or he did a hell of a job,
Awesome.
and I'll give them the money. So I'm all about the hitting phase 2 now. I mean, restaurants are open. Let's go get it, man. Get out there and go spend money.
Nice. I like it. All right, well, some news came out about the NFL yesterday. How does that affect the Jaguars? We will get into that next on The Frangie Show on a Kitchen and Flooring Design Center Wednesday on 1010XL.
The Frangie Show, live from the law offices of Brett Hastings' studio on 1010XL 92.5 FM.
What's he like?
He's different from anybody I know.
The Man Cold Hacker.
Different's good.
Weekdays noon to 3 on 1010XL. Now, the Florida Gator Report on 1010XL, brought to you by Darley's Plumbing.
Florida's football team received good news last week as running back Lorenzo Lingard announced that he is eligible to play for the Gators immediately in the fall. The former 5-star transferred from the University of Miami and hopes to play a big role in replacing the production of LaMichael Pirine, who was drafted by the Jets in the 4th round. Meanwhile, the Gators basketball team will look different next season as 2-year starting point guard Andrew Nemhard has decided to transfer from Florida.
This is Coach Ellen Darley of Darley's Plumbing with a quick tip about what to do if your favorite sporting events are not on TV. Read a book, play card games with your family, get outside for a nature hike, call your parents, Just because your favorite sporting events are canceled this week doesn't mean your plumbing issues went away. Darley's is here for you. And since we're all washing our hands more frequently, I mean you are, right? Call us at Darley's Plumbing, where quality counts. We're online at darleysplumbing.com.
License number CFC 056702.
After a car accident, you can feel like you've lost control. I'm Glenn Levine from the law offices of Anajar and Levine. Our team can help you understand your legal options after an accident. We will file your claim and fight for the full compensation you deserve. If you've been involved in a car accident, call the law offices of Anajar and Levine at 904-600-4000. That's 904-600-4000 for a free consultation and take back control of your life.
Office in Jacksonville.
It's been a challenging year, and exceptional people have risen to the occasion. Now's the time to recognize them. Know someone who's making an impact in our community? Nominate them to be this year's TIAA Bank Community Champion. Each winning nominee will receive a $1,000 donation towards their cause and will share their story with the world. Visit TIAABank.com/Community Champion for details, terms, and conditions. The deadline to nominate is June 26th. Visit TIAABank.com/Community Champion.
Hi, Jacksonville. This is Dave Barker, owner of IHRS. Want your own growing hair guaranteed? IHRS has restored hair for men and women for over 30 years in Jacksonville, and our great staff is back to work. Now, more than ever, our clinic is following all CDC guidelines, and we're ready to help you grow your hair back. Free private in-office or virtual consultations are available. Call 904-777-IHRS or go to hairforme.com. Find out if our exclusive multi-unit hair grafting, laser hair therapy, or PRP will restore your hair. Call 904-777-IHRS for a free in-office or virtual consultation. Go to hair4me.com or call 904-777-IHRS, 777-4477, and grow your hair back.
I'm Hayes Carline. You can get news, rumors, and my opinions on your favorite NFL team throughout the offseason on my blog brought to you by Roland Reach Plumbing at 1010XL.com.
No better time to support your local restaurants. Leon Searcy here for Wingstop. All your 6 Wingstop locations are locally owned and operated. Wingstop always has specialized in carryout, but now all locations are delivering. From Orange Park, the north side, the south side to the beaches. You know my favorite, I'm a lemon pepper guy. We're here for the community. Order online or download the app. You can pick it up at the store, order at the store to go, or have it delivered.
Can't stop. Wingstop.
The Jacksonville Orthopedic Institute is back to normal business hours. In conjunction with Baptist Health, JOI and JOI Rehab are following the best practices to provide you and their employees with a safe environment, including patients and staff wearing masks and the ability to utilize their new virtual waiting room. JOI is still offering telehealth services if you prefer to do so. If you have questions before coming in for an appointment, please call JOI 2000. JOI, where the pros go.
Instant Keys delivers honest, professional locksmith service for lost, broken, or spare keys. Call Instant Keys at 722-1111. Get dealership-level service in just minutes at a fraction of the cost. That's 722-1111.
Hey, it's Allie McDeal. You don't have to be an expert poker player to go to Best Bet. Head on over to Best Bet to experience the best in world-class poker, delicious food and drinks, and fun card games for all levels, right here in Northeast Florida. Featuring games like Pai Gow, 3-card poker, and Ultimate Texas Hold'em. There are now more ways to win than ever. Our friendly and knowledgeable staff make playing fun for all experience levels. Best Bet. Experience the best.
Blue here for Streamsong Golf Resort and Spa. Played the Black Course, which Golf Week ranked as the 3rd best course in the state of Florida. I've played Streamsong many times, and there's nothing like it. Golf Digest gave Streamsong the 2020 award for the best golf resort. Stay and play packages are available. Several restaurants, spa, pool, fishing, sporting clays, perfect for your golfing buddies or the whole family. Call StreamSong today at 863-428-1000 or go to StreamSongResort.com.
This 1010XL 92.5 FM hour is powered by Anajar and Levine Accident Attorneys. Call 904-600-4000. That's 904-600-4000.
It's a Kitchen and Flooring Design Center Wednesday on The Frangie Show on 1010XL 92.5 FM.
If you want to update your floors, your kitchen, your bathrooms, even your closets, go see our friends at the Kitchen and Flooring Design Center. They are located on Southside Boulevard, and they are absolutely wonderful. They will take you through the entire process, help you pick out stuff, walk through your home to help you design it. That's what Anna did for us. They are wonderful people. That's our friends at the Kitchen and Flooring Design Center. Frank and Hayes are on vacation this week. Matt Hayes and James Coleman are here. Andrew Gibson is here. I'm Lauren Brooks. All right, yesterday, Gibby told us that the NFL was going to no longer, at least for this season, allow teams to practice or hold training camp practices outside of their own facilities. So because of that, James, I want to know, how much more difficult will it be for head coach Doug Marrone to try and get this super young Jaguars team ready for the season?
I mean, not at all.
They were supposed to practice against the Bucs, though, and look, the Bucs are going to be worse. We think going to be really good.
Yeah, the last time we went up against Tom Brady, we went to the third round of playoffs. But
right.
That's an aspect of it. But you also you get a chance to go a little harder, but it also takes away from you being able to see some valuable reps for the guys who are lower on the roster. So for every time you have that joint practice, that guy who was it 70, 75, 80 that go into the training camp? I forgot. Whatever that number, those guys at the bottom don't get those reps because you're trying to go best versus best. And that's something that you got. The other thing about being able to not have to leave your facilities is you actually now have a little bit more control, and there's a familiarity. You have more control with your young guys because they're staying in the hotel anyway. So now the only place they go is where you bust them, essentially. Your older guys kind of have a routine, and if you really feel the need to, they could take over an entire hotel. I'm sure a hotel would love for that right now. They're not getting that much business. But for me, when you've been in it for a while, never negate the ability or the opportunity or the importance of waking up in your own bed and like rolling out of your own bed and going to the stadium. You have your routine, and it just feels better. So I think those are things that are good for morale as well.
I mean, I think when you look at it, to me, it's not so much where you're practicing, it's how many practices you have. That's going to be the issue, I think, with a young team. You're talking about the way the schedule looks right now from what we're reading is they're probably going to have like 2 weeks of practice. I don't know how many of those will be in pads. Probably of those 14 days, maybe 10 in pads.
Well, you got to
9 in pads.
You got to do your 3 in shorts. You got to do whatever it is in shorts,
right.
And then they're not going to go every day in
pads. Right.
So you may get 5, I think.
I mean,
outside of some scrimmages,
and then you start playing ball, and then you start playing preseason games, and to me, it looks like if this is what you have, and you have a young team. I think if you have a veteran team, it's different because you've got guys that have been through it. But if you have a young team like the Jags, and you're looking at 4 or 5 days of pads, those young guys are going to get a lot of reps in those practice games. Whereas typically maybe they wouldn't, or some wouldn't. You may want to try and save some of them. They're going to get a lot of reps because, frankly, you need the reps. And I wouldn't be surprised at all if Gardner Minshew got more reps in those practice games because, frankly, he needs more reps, especially with the new receiver around him, potentially a new guard at right guard there. He needs a situation where he's going to feel comfortable with what he's doing and how he's progressing. He's going to get more reps, and then that puts him in a position where, is he then more vulnerable to injury? That then becomes an issue for me as well. So there's a lot going on. To me, it's not so much where, it's how many practices until you start playing, and then how many reps will you get in the practice games until the regular season begins. Because if you don't get a lot of reps in that practice game and you go into your first game with a lot of young dudes that don't have many reps under their belts, woo, that will be very, very ugly.
See, the one thing, though, that I think about is Minshew versus the Jaguars' defense. Let's say he looks great in training camp and all the practices because this is a somewhat young defense. Certainly parts of it are inexperienced. Well, then I think it's way better than have a chance to go up against another team's secondary that's way more experienced than yours is, and then it's going to push him, and then he's going to be able to read some things in defenses that his defense hasn't necessarily done. So I think for a second-year quarterback, going up against another team in training camp practices would have been really helpful.
Well, I understand what you're saying. Like you're breaking up the monotony of hitting each other all the time by
And
bringing
elevating
in somebody.
competition, potentially.
Yeah, because at the end of the day, we cheat when it comes to practices, especially defensive guys. They know, especially when you got to run that play again, they're not going to go sit back and play the defense in its true form.
Sure.
They've already seen it. So they're going to cheat to the play because they're trying to excel. Another defense, every time, that's new. They don't know what you're necessarily doing. You don't know what they're doing, so you're cheating. You're not able to cheat as much. Also, but I think this is tweaked because you no longer have you didn't have OTAs, you didn't have a lot of other stuff. But you're really just tired of hitting or looking at the same people over and over again. When you see another color, it helps you be able to, all right, that's the enemy. They don't care about me. I don't really care about them. A good old-fashioned fight happens because you need those. That helps keep it a little spicy.
Mentally.
Yeah. People make too much. I think it was a fight when we went up to New England with Tom Brady. And it's like, oh, that's undisciplined. No, fights need that. If you don't have any fights in camp, you probably had a soft camp. But so I see that aspect of it, but it's just not enough because the opposite can happen. Well, but then again, isn't that I think that's when or that might have been the year when Blake threw with 6 interceptions in a practice or something. I don't think it was against the team, against New England. I think it was just in regular practice.
Yeah, it was against his own defense.
So you want to be able to.
It was just in front of fans.
You don't want to also have an implosion. It's a thing where you don't know because you don't have a veteran at quarterback that can really rally them in and show them how to be an NFL player because he's still learning himself.
Sure.
But I think the more reps more hands you can put on your own team without having to worry about that, I think it helps you in the long run.
Yeah, I don't think Tom Brady needs to go against this Jaguars
Not
defense
at all.
for the Bucs to be ready. Veteran quarterbacks don't need that. They know all about other teams' defenses, even when there's nuances put in their system. But Gardner, I think it would have benefited him greatly, even just to be on the same field as Tom Brady. I do think, we all joke about that. The last time the Jaguars practiced against Tom Brady in joint practices in August, they ended up in the AFC Championship game. But I do think there's something that is real value to watching how the GOAT practices, to see how he goes about his business. And we even talked about Marone looking over at how Belichick runs his practices. Well, this would have given you Bruce Arians. So I'm not saying the Jaguars are going to go from, they might have won 8 games. Now they're only going to win 4 because they don't get to practice against the Bucs. I don't think that. I think they're more like a 4-win team, regardless of whether they got to practice against the Bucs or not. But I do think it would have helped some of them to at least figure out some things differently than what they'd been doing. And like you said, break up the monotony, which in August, I think everybody at that point, usually at that point in the time, you've been practicing against your own teammates for so long.
Well, and you've been doing mini camps and OTAs.
Yeah, it won't be nearly as
you're
monotonous
sick of
this
each
year.
other.
Right.
So now
there's
it's
definitely
just,
value in that.
People are just really ready to get back to doing something.
Sure.
Between what we discussed earlier this week, just getting your mind off of that so you can practice, because the football field, that's all that's there. But right now, just sitting at home, even if you're lifting weights and clanking them, you're only going for maybe 90 minutes, maybe 2 hours if you're really feeling froggy. You can only watch so much film, but at least now when I have a practice, we have film. We can break down the practice film. We can break down game film. We can put in install concepts. There's so much more things that you can do once you get back into that professional state of mind. But right now, I think the excitement will last longer. It's just about who's physically in football shape right now, or closest to football shape.
You used to lift for 90 minutes or more, straight, not including cardio, just lifting.
Yeah. If you're,
that's insane.
You have it's to work out all the things. You're talking about on the professional level or an elite athlete level. You're talking about 30 minutes for an actual warm up. So, and I'm talking about movement,
warm-up. Dynamic warm-up.
Yeah, dynamic warm-up, getting your hips activated, getting your glutes, your quads, all those different things activated. And, to be able for longevity, and then the amount, and it's not, and let me rephrase it. So it's not 90 minutes, it's 90 minutes of getting after it, and a real person might pass out. But an athlete will be used to it because your body just is explosive. So, boom, fire, rest. You don't go again until you're ready to really fire again.
Okay.
Because that's how the game is.
That makes sense.
So they know how to go. So when I'm talking to an athlete and I say I need you to go 75%, they know what 75% is. Whereas a high school kid, if I tell them they're 100%, 75%, 65%, it all looks the same because they have no idea what it is until you get around a bunch of alpha males and you see like now, okay, this is what you unlock new levels. So, but it's about 90 minutes and then you recover and then maybe you go do an hour of scale. Like if they're running around doing like throwing with Denny or stuff like that.
I think who's going to be hurt most by this are guys like Minshew, like Daniel Jones, like Kyler Murray, like Justin Herbert, Joe Burrow, Tua Tagovailoa. Those are the guys that are going to be hurt by it because their position demands repetition, mental repetition, head to where you have it down exactly, and you know where everyone is, you know where everyone needs to be, so you can verbally correct people if they're not in the right spot. If you don't have a quarterback that knows everything that's going on, then there is way more chance of problems happening on the field than not. Because most of the times, and James can speak to this, these guys are telling you where to go. Line up here. No, you're off the line. And it's little things like that I think you take for granted, but it's repetition of OTAs, of minicamp, of a month of training camp. You start talking about 2 weeks of training camp, the first time they've been around each other, and 5 days in pads. That's, I think, was where it's really the crispness that you usually see. That's going to be gone. The first couple games are going to be brutal.
Yeah, to bounce off of that. So when I went to New Orleans, the first OTAs, we had a meeting in the morning and we had a meeting in the afternoon. Then we had our actual practice. Each meeting, 4 plays. They only put 4 plays in, but we had 15 to 20 different formations that those 4 plays were ran out of. When they give you those 4 plays, they expect you to have those 4 plays mastered. Then you go out on the field and you run those 4 plays. And then at the evening meeting, you go over those 4 plays, and then they add 4 more plays in the 15 to 20 different formations. Next day, do the same thing. So you're missing this install that is important. And so that's one step of it. The second step of it is people don't understand how different quarterbacks throw the ball and as a wide receiver when you're running your route, the speed, the velocity, how the ball leaves their hand. Minshew is a shorter quarterback, so the ball has an upward trajectory when he throws it. Whereas Dobbs, who a lot of guys are here with, is a taller quarterback, so the ball is a little bit flatter. So it's not necessarily easier, but you can get an understanding and a rhythm of how to catch. Insert somebody new who's a completely different quarterback, now you got to get used to that. So that's another thing that gets missing when you don't have the opportunity to get that, and now you're playing catch-up. That's why, again, it's different in college. It's the professionals, that's why you saw Tom Brady make it his point to move to Tampa. Even Jameis made it a point to move to New Orleans so that he can be, even though Breeze is clearly the guy, but you want to be able to be there to develop the rapport, develop the relationship, because there are restrictions that you automatically have due to NFLPA, COVID, and all the other things that we have going on.
And now that you say that, you think about it, Josh Dobbs isn't the only other tall quarterback. Jake Luton and
6'6".
Mike Glennon are both way taller than Minshew. So all of the other 3 guys that the receivers are going to receive the balls from are going to be a different trajectory, like you said, than Minshew. The other person that I think this really does affect would be middle linebacker Joe Schobert. So as far as the defense goes, we've talked a lot about the offense and the installs, but the defense too, he can't be out there teaching the way he likes to call things.
Same thing.
And he's got a fairly young defense around him as well, and there aren't guys like Calais Campbell and A.J. Boye here anymore to be able to bring him along up to speed either. So I think it's going to affect him as well. All right, I want to get into a little bit of NBA and some college football. That's all coming up next. You're listening to The Frangie Show on 1010XL.
The Frangie Show, live from the law offices of Brett Hastings' studio on 1010XL 92.5 FM.
Each one of us remembers when we felt it the first time, when you looked up and down those bleachers and saw 90,000 saluting alongside you, when you first saw a gator.
1010XL.
If you're a man over 45, have frequent urination, an urgent need to go, a weak flow, or waking at night to urinate, it's time to consider UroLift. This is Dr. West, urologist with McKeever Clinic. UroLift is a non-invasive outpatient procedure with minimal downtime. If you suffer from an enlarged prostate and want to avoid the sexual side effects of medication and invasive surgery, UroLift may be for you. Contact McKeever Clinic at 355-6583. That's 355-6583.
Hey, if you want an insurance agent you can trust, I'll recommend State Farm agent Craig Dewhurst. 940-9740 is Craig's number. Life insurance, homeowners, automotive. He's really good. And he's there when you need him. He's that good at the job. You want a guy you can trust, really trust, and a guy you're really going to like. Let me recommend my friend Craig Dewhurst. You know State Farm's a great company. I'm going to tell you Craig is the best agent around. 940-9740. Whatever it is you need in the world of insurance, the best guy in the business is my friend Craig Dewhurst.
Attention diesel mechanics. Republic Services is now hiring in Duval and St. Johns County. And with Republic Services, new diesel mechanics get a $2,000 sign-on bonus, a $1,000 yearly tool allowance, and competitive benefits. Republic Services will even pay for your ASC certifications and offer a bonus for each certification earned. Join the Republic Services team and make a positive impact on your community and environment today. Visit republicservices.jobs for more information and to apply. Wear the star, drive your career.
If you've been injured, you need a local law firm and attorney with experience. I'm Julie Harrell. I grew up in Jacksonville and have been a personal injury attorney for nearly 20 years. Call Harrell & Harrell, 251-1111. Offices, Jacksonville.
Are you sitting around the house or driving around in your car collecting stimulus money and unemployment? It's time to get back out there and get a job, man. Hi, Flying Jacko here. Woody's Barbecue's now hiring in all positions, from dishwashers to managers. Business is good at Woody's Barbecue, and you can start all over right now. Call Woody's corporate office and find out more.
At Woody's Barbecue, it's what we do. Let's eat.
The PGA Tour gets back to action June 11th at Colonial Country Club in Fort Worth, Texas.
And Fantasy Golf on 1010XL returns.
Presented by Pella Windows and Doors. Enter to play and win a gift card from Woody's Barbecue at 1010XL.com.
Mark Watson here, owner of Hardball Creative. These last few weeks have been nuts, but as Jacksonville starts to open back up, make sure your company is ready. From employee appreciation gifts to printed tents for curbside pickup to face masks with your company logo on them, remember Hardball does it all. Call us today at 9988-778 or online at hardballcreative.com.
Hardball Creative. Hardball does it all.
Diamonds Direct celebrates the reopening of our local economy with our most amazing offer ever. 5 years, 0 interest financing with no money down on anything and everything. Yes! Now, for a limited time, Diamonds Direct is doing our part to help you get back to normal and celebrate your love like never before. Our prices and values are the best ever. Our showcases are fully stocked, and we're letting you buy now with nothing down, and you can spread your payments over 5 years with 0 interest. Been putting off that engagement? Get her a $6,000 designer ring now and pay just $100 a month. Did you miss celebrating that anniversary? How about a $3,000 Diamond Eternity Band for just $50 a month? Summer is the season for love, and we're doing all we can to make this summer one to remember with exceptional values, extra selection, and the most exceptional finance opportunity. 5 years, 0 interest on approved credit. Diamonds Direct. Your love, our passion.
Tire Outlet is bringing the tires to you. Mike Dempsey here to tell you that Tire Outlet is now offering mobile service. No hassle, I mean quick same-day installation. They're the largest locally owned tire shop in town, so wherever you are, choose a time and location that's convenient for you. A Tire Outlet professional will bring the new tires out and install them. Call this number to make an appointment, 600-0089. For mobile tire installation, that's 600-0089. Tire Outlet. Wholesale prices, premium service.
Superior Fence and Rail knows about first-class service. From the first phone call to the final inspection, Superior Fence and Rail's professional team delivers with great communication, friendly installers, and quality fence products. There's a reason why Superior Fence and Rail is the top-rated fence company in Jacksonville, and it all starts with their professional team. So get off the fence and call Superior Fence and Rail for your new fence today.
When you're on the fence about a fence, SuperiorFenceandRail.com.
Been dreaming of Subway tile and butcher block counters?
Outdoor kitchens and pavers?
Oh, honey.
The weather's great and it's time to knock out those nagging home projects with a Honeydew HELOC from 1-to-1 Financial, Jacksonville's hometown credit union. Borrow up to 90% loan to value and pay no closing costs. Best of all, we'll give you a free wheelbarrow. That's right, a free wheelbarrow. Apply today at 1to1fcu.org. Federally insured by NCUA. Just please, no more shiplap.
This 1010XL 92.5 FM hour is powered by Anajar and Levine Accident Attorneys. Call 904-600-4000. That's 904-600-4000.
It's a Kitchen and Flooring Design Center Wednesday on The Frangie Show on 1010XL 92.5 FM.
Welcome back to the Frangie Show. Frank and Hayes have the week off. Matt Hayes and James Coleman here with us. Andrew Gibson and Lauren Brooks with you. I'm here today, and then Tony Smith will take over for tomorrow and Friday. The NBA has a plan. That's right, Major League Baseball. You may not have a plan yet, as negotiations are still ongoing, but the NBA is very close. They will vote tomorrow to ratify a plan where 22 teams will head to Orlando, 13 Western Conference teams, 9 Eastern Conference teams. They will play 8 regular season games, and there could be a play-in tournament for the 8th seeds. It will run July 31st through October 12th. Matt Hayes, what do you think?
I mean, I like it. I'm still trying to figure out the logistics of it. So what you're looking at, you're going to have an 8-team playoffs, which is good because if you look at the current standings right now, there are 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9 teams with 40 wins, 40, 41, 42, or 43 wins. So it's going to be interesting to see how this plays out, the 1 through 8 seeds. The only thing I'm concerned about is you've got 22 teams. So who are the good teams, or who are the teams in general, for that matter, that get to play the Nets, that get to play the Magic, that get to play the Grizzlies? You know what I mean? Because you're playing 8 games. I don't know if it's equal where everybody plays the same amount of teams at the same time, because I can't figure that out right now. To me, if everybody's playing 8 games, doesn't that mean it's going to be 176 games played? If my math is right. No, that's 120. No, 136. 136.
Yeah.
So 136 games played?
I think so. And I think that's why, like we said in the break, that's why Orlando's taking this on, because they can have multiple games at the same time.
So everybody plays everybody how many times then? How does that work?
Well, I don't know that you necessarily play everybody a certain amount of times. You're just going to play 8 games.
And that's my point.
Somebody
so who gets to play?
I would assume,
who gets to play the Magic more? Who gets to play the Grizzlies more? That's my point with that.
I mean, I would assume that they're going to do some sort of lottery where literally they're going to put all the teams in a hat. I mean, not really, because we have computers nowadays, but you know what I mean. They'll come up with an algorithm, and it just gets completely shuffled at random, and then that's what happens. That would be my guess, because I don't necessarily think that they're going to give teams like the Bucks and the Raptors atop the Eastern Conference and teams like the Lakers and the Clippers atop the Western Conference the benefit. Yes, they were doing, obviously, really well before all this, but this has been a really long layover. So, once things actually get sorted out, once it gets ratified tomorrow, I think we'll have more information.
Oh, I was right. It's 176 games. So it's 176 games you're talking about now.
Yeah, that's a lot.
So 22 teams now. Yeah, I don't know how that's gonna. I don't know how that works. That's going to be interesting. It's going to be very interesting. Who plays who?
I honestly would have been fine if they skipped the remainder of the regular season and just went straight into the playoffs, but I do think this might be more fair. James, do you have a team?
No.
Okay.
I like LeBron. I'm a LeBron fan, so that makes me...
You have a player, not a team.
Yeah, that makes me I guess I'm rooting for L.A. I don't really care if they win or not. I'm not going to cry. But I would like for him to be successful.
If he wins, will you cry?
No, I don't really cry. I don't think I've ever cried over a game. I think I may have been really, really sad my senior year in high school, but I was thinking more of my friends because I knew they weren't going to have they all sucked, and none of them were going to have an opportunity to.
Ouch!
I'm just joking. They weren't going to have an opportunity to play at the next level, and then. If maybe I should have cried. If I would have known my career was technically going to be over after my last college game, I probably would have embraced that moment a little bit, but I'm not. But I'm more interested in how competitive it's going to be. If they're all in the same area and they all see each other pretty much, that's going to, I think, add another level. But, but at the same time, I don't want to feel like I'm watching an AAU basketball tournament with professional basketball. So like,
That's what it's going to be like.
and that's what it's like when I'm listening to what this is. No, not just no fans, but like we got multiple courts going on. Like it's impossible to have a great TV angle when no matter which, like if you come from a side, you're going to see like
they'll be in separate. They'll be in separate
they'll
arenas.
Be in separate. Yeah.
So they have multiple arenas.
Yeah.
Okay, I just thought it was like how when they do these volleyball tournaments, they got this one big room.
No,
and there's courts for days.
They've got 3 arenas on that campus.
Oh, okay. That
but
makes
still,
me feel
it will be
better.
odd. It'll be like an AAU game.
Sure.
I mean, what you're going to hear is guys yelling. You're going to hear sneakers, and that's it. That's what you're going to hear.
So I assume that they'll play music. I assume they'll play music pretty loud, and that'll somewhat drown out the sounds of the players and the shoes squeaking and stuff like that. I would also assume that we may not have the broadcast crews actually in front of the players, like at the actual sideline table or courtside table. They may still be doing studio stuff. We'll have to figure that part out. But it is interesting, James, you mentioned the players will see each other. They are technically, according to what we've read, allowed to eat at restaurants as long as they're outside and golf. So if this was back when Jordan was playing, he would have been playing golf with everybody on the other teams trying to get in their head.
Do they got to stay around in that area to play, though? That's the question.
Yeah, they do. Yeah.
The golf out there is not. I mean, it's all right.
It's not good.
Beggars can't be choosers?
There's a couple good courses on the Disney properties, but not. I mean, out there. No, man, you got to go
I'm sure somebody's going to sneak down to Seminole.
You got to go to Lake Nona and Tavistock, and that's not. They're going to have to sneak there is what they're going to have to do.
Yeah.
And Winter Park and
But either way, it'll be exciting to have it back, even if you don't have a team. I think everybody's just chomping at the bit to have actual live sports that mean something.
Right.
I'm not even an NBA fan, and I'm excited about it.
And the thing is too, when you're at that point, when you've only got 22, you've got a situation where you have 22 games. It's everybody is playing full bore now. You're not going to be nobody's saving anything for anything. You're trying to be
time management.
Yeah, you're trying to get one of those 8 spots. That's
right.
You're gonna go from how many 22 teams to 8 teams. So you're doing everything you can to get one of those spots. So it's almost like you're playing the playoffs in that by the end of the regular season. How they're doing it.
All right, let's switch to a little college football. On CBS Sports, Tom Fornelli ranked the strength of schedule for each SEC team. Matt, Tennessee has the second hardest college football schedule in the SEC, while Georgia has the 11th hardest and Florida has the easiest. Do you agree with that as far as Tennessee being really difficult and then Georgia and Florida being a lot easier?
Well, I certainly agree with the idea that Florida might have. I mean, if you look at easy schedules,
right? LSU and Gainesville, you always play
LSU
Georgia
and Gainesville.
Jacksonville.
You got your other rotation in the West is an Ole Miss team that I think has some talent, but certainly, I mean, they shouldn't lose that game. So and they don't play. I don't think how many games they play out of the state of Florida. I think it's like 3 maybe, if that. I'm not sure exactly. It's something like that. They've got a very fortunate schedule where if you look at Tennessee's got to go to Oklahoma. I mean, they've got a couple cupcakes with Charlotte, Furman, really 3 cupcakes in Troy.
So Florida does only have the 3 outside of the state of Florida because they've got 2 in Tennessee with Tennessee and Vanderbilt, and then Ole Miss, like you mentioned.
Yeah, they're
because
going to handle
obviously
those.
Florida State's in Florida still. And then Georgia's schedule, how hard is opening with Virginia? Not that difficult, right?
Well, I mean, certainly Virginia isn't the team that we thought they were in years past. They're a better team. They have a new quarterback, so that's going to be a little different. But now Bronco's been there now. I think this will be his 5th year. So yeah, he's got them in position right now where they understand what he wants. He's at a point now where he's got to get a guy that he can plug in there and a guy that can not make mistakes at quarterback. If he can do that, they should win that game. But it's not going to be a cakewalk. There's no doubt about that. Then they've got Alabama in the first month of the season. So Georgia, to me, has a much more significant schedule than Tennessee. I don't know why. I mean, I guess Tennessee is significant because they got to play at Oklahoma. But you're playing against an Oklahoma team that's also playing with a brand new quarterback as well. So, and that's early in the season. It's week 2.
Right.
But they've also got very good wide receivers.
They do.
That are they're and a coach who kind of understands it. But like you were going back to Georgia, like Virginia. Virginia is a team like Wake Forest. A little bit better than Wake Forest, but like Virginia, Wake Forest,
little bit better than Wake.
The reason why I say this is like every 3 to 4 years, they're going to develop and they're going to come in and they're going to raise some noise. But then they'll lose all of those guys to the NFL or to graduation, and then they're back to ground zero. And they're in the Coastal. But I will say this: the Coastal is whoever wins the Coastal this year or the last year. I do not expect them to win the Coastal in the current year. Like the Coastal is the only. I don't think they've had the same champion.
They have in 7 years. 7 years been different champion.
Like Virginia Tech, I believe, held it pretty strong for a while, and then after that, it's been chaos. And whoever you think is going to win it, they're not. Well, North Carolina won 2 games the year before, and then they end up.
Right.
North Carolina is who I believe will win the Coastal, but again, they will be the 8th different champion. And then they're all playing for the opportunity to get destroyed by Clemson.
Right. No, I agree with that.
And I mean, when you look at strength of schedule too, like Arkansas is listed as having the absolute hardest schedule in the SEC, but isn't part of that because Arkansas isn't that good?
Right.
Yeah.
Right. I mean, of course it is.
They're in the toughest division in college football. I don't necessarily believe the SEC is the best conference. I believe they have the SEC West currently is the best division in football.
And Arkansas has to travel to Notre Dame.
Wait, I want to back up a little bit.
Yeah,
you said
yeah,
you don't believe the SEC is the best conference?
I think the Big Ten right now has a very, very legitimate claim for that. I'm not here to say the ACC is or the Pac-12 or the Big 12. It's really them or the Big Ten.
So, and you're banking that on Ohio State, obviously.
Ohio State, Penn State, Wisconsin. Iowa still is Iowa Big 12 or are they Big?
No, they're Big 10.
So Iowa's consistently a 9 to 10 win team. Trying to say Michigan
8-9 team. 8-9 win.
8-9 win team. Michigan State is going to give you something every now and then, even though they have a new coach. Indiana's not that far removed from having a record-breaking season. Not saying that they're going to win, but Indiana, if you look at the middle teams in the SEC, I believe Indiana can compare to those middle teams in the SEC. Then outside of that, it's just a crapshoot. Nebraska's never good. Nebraska's always coming back.
Forget Minnesota. Minnie
Minnesota. I rode a boat or whatever he says, tugboat, whatever the thing is. He's again. Those are teams that I'm just trying to go off of. Like I see a different brand of football.
You forgot Michigan too.
Michigan's not good.
Michigan's again. You pull one of those middle teams out in the SEC, and Michigan can compete with them. But when I think about and then when they play up against other teams and other conferences in the bowl games, their brand of football is actually really, really good, especially with Wisconsin, who Wisconsin can go for being the top team or middle team, but when they always are consistently faced with somebody else, they bully people. And Miami,
they're going to be really good this year, too.
They have the quarterback that they won. This is his 3rd year, I believe, or is it his 2nd year? Anyways,
it'll be his 2nd year.
The quarterback is good. I don't care who is at running back. They're going to be good. They're always good at running back. And somehow they have mastered this offensive line thing to where they can bring in anybody. And in 4 years, they're going to be an NFL draft prospect. And that's why I say that. But the SEC West, when I think about the coaches in there, obviously Saban. Malzahn is on the hot seat, but he's never had I think he's had one losing season or barely a losing season? He's done pretty good considering he was a high school coach like a decade ago. You've got my favorite coach in all of college football, Coach O. One of my least favorite coaches in all of college football, Jimbo Fisher. And that's the 4 guys. That's the top. That's the top 4. Like that's solid right there. No way to get around that.
Are you also going to tell me that the Pac-12 is good? Because you were touting Wisconsin, but Wisconsin lost to Oregon in the Rose Bowl.
I mean, that happens, but I don't think I think Oregon's good.
Okay.
But outside of that, right now, USC is we were joking, their coach doesn't win 8 games, he's fired.
They're in flux.
Stanford, I think that boat is probably sailed with them, and if they're good, they're a 10-win team. They're not a playoff team when they get to that max. Utah could be something, but it's like their brand of football typically is so fluffy that they can't consistently win. That's why Stanford's always been good because everybody else is pass happy, but when whoever the champion is or the big time team, they're going to meet Stanford and Stanford's going to bully them, and they're going to lose when they shouldn't lose, or when you didn't expect them to lose. So that's why I just can't. And plus, they're on the West Coast. I just don't. We don't really know anything about that until it's time to know something about that. But and then the Big 12. I mean, like I said, my theory in general is no matter what, every conference, if you take the number 1 or the number 2, the top 2 teams from every conference, they probably can play with anybody if you really think about it. At least the team
I
that
probably
wins.
disagree with the Big 12.
Oklahoma can play with anybody. Oklahoma's lost to an SEC champion, but they're
But who are
really
you
good.
But Oklahoma got crushed last year in the game against LSU, and who's even the second team in the
That
Big
was
12?
LSU, but they also took Georgia. They should have beat Georgia. They had Georgia on the ropes, and then Georgia, obviously came back. So it could go either way. The Pac-12 I think Oregon at the end of the year could have probably played with anybody. It hurts me to say.
The top team in each one, maybe, but I don't know that there's two. I don't know that those two conferences, Big 12.
Well, yeah,
Pac-12 go too
I
deep
say
enough to
one.
play.
I say one or two, but at least one. So with that being said, that just shows me pretty much every conference is top heavy. The only difference is the SEC West. Those four teams probably, I believe they can play with anybody. And then you add a Florida, add Florida, Georgia from the East, and those are the only teams that I'm really considering any good from the East.
I think you got. I like your argument. Actually, I do. I really do. The Big Ten is much better than I think people give it credit for. And I think if you look at the SEC, you look at the West, it's LSU, it's Alabama. I'd probably throw Auburn in there. I'm not throwing Texas A&M in there. I can tell you that right now.
Sure.
Texas A&M played 5 hard games last year, lost all 5 of them.
Right.
So I'm not throwing them in there yet. And then you can throw Georgia and Florida in from the East. And so you're looking at a 5-team league right now. The rest of them are trying to get back. I mean, can Mississippi State make a move with Mike Leach? Does Texas A&M finally do something with Jimbo Fisher? He now has a 3-year starter at quarterback. They're very good on defense. Can that offense finally do something? That's a big question. And you look at the Big Ten. The Big Ten, it's not just I think you're talking about teams that have built for a while now. Clearly Ohio State. Penn State, I think, with James Franklin is right there. They are right there. Not only with the players, the dudes, they've got a quarterback right now that I think is one of the most underrated guys in college football, and Sean Clifford. Michigan, I'm not buying Michigan until Michigan wins a game. Wins the games that matters. Love Wisconsin. Minnie played really well last year. Won 12 games, beat Auburn in that bowl game. I want to see them do it again to back it up. James was talking about Iowa. Iowa's very consistent. So, I mean, it's at the very least you're looking – I mean, if you're honestly looking at it, it's probably a push. But I could easily hear what James is saying and say, yeah, I respect that argument. I could easily hear that.
I'll tell you what I think on the other side. You're listening to The Frangie Show on 1010XL.
The Frangie Show, live from the law offices of Brett Hastings' studio on 1010XL 92.5 FM.
Working from home? Here's your new water cooler conversation.
I think the reality is that they're going to make the best decision for their football team based on what they're seeing out of Gardner Minshew.
1010XL. Listen from home on your smartphone, online, or on Alexa.
Hey Jacksonville, this is Joe Adib from Bono's. I just want to let you know that we have now reopened all of our dining rooms. We appreciate all the love that you have showed us during this crisis. For over 71 years, we have been here for you through good times and bad. Our award-winning barbecue and our unbelievable staff look forward to seeing you soon. Be safe.
For the best price and service when it comes to your waste hauling and collecting, look no further than the A-Team at All-American Roll-Off and Recycling. Jet Prosser here, and let me tell you, you're not going to find an easier way to handle your project cleanups than calling in the A-Team at All-American. A J.B. Coxwell company, All-American Roll-Off and Recycling has brand new trucks and cans in all sizes to fit your project needs. No hidden fees. Count on the best price in town. When it comes to cleaning up when the job is done, go with the A-Team at All-American Roll-Off and Recycling. Visit us at all-americanrolloff.com.
Hi, this is Dave Barker. Multi-unit hair grafting is now available at IHRS and can give you 3 times more hair in one procedure over a traditional hair transplant.
Multi-unit hair grafting gave me more hair in one procedure and within my budget.
You can grow your hair back with this exclusive new procedure. Call now for your free evaluation and see if multi-unit hair grafting or PRP can restore your hair. Call 904-777-IHRS.
My bald spots are gone. Thanks, IHRS.
IHRS is the only clinic in the Southeast to offer all proven solutions to restore your hair and is now offering multi-unit hair grafting. One procedure, more hair.
You've got nothing to lose but more hair. I feel younger, I look younger, and who doesn't want to feel better about themselves?
This year, grow your hair back. Call for a free evaluation. Call IHRS 904-777-IHRS 777-4477.
Odds are, when you're looking for the best plumbing service, it probably sounds something like this. Okay, Google, show me Roland Reach Plumbing. That's right. Roland Reach Plumbing is a Google guaranteed service, so you can be assured of work quality, background of employees, and the right service done on time, on budget. With satisfaction Google guaranteed. So for any plumbing issue, large or small, use the Bold City's best. Roland Reach Plumbing at plumberinjacks.com.
DivorceMenOnly.com. This is Kenny Lay of Kenny Lay and Associates. Our firm specializes in representing men in family law. That's all we do. That's our only focus. We can help with all of your family law needs, such as divorce, custody, alimony, and child support. For over a decade, we have helped thousands of men with these types of issues. We even have an appellate division ready to challenge a judge's ruling. If you need a family law attorney, go to DivorceMenOnly.com. DivorceMenOnly.com. Offices, Jacksonville.
Folks, it's the 25th anniversary for Renewal by Anderson, and they're offering an incredible sale. Frank Frangie here. Get 25% off all windows and patio doors. Plus, no money down and no payments or interest for 12 months with approved credit. Your safety is a priority, so they do offer virtual consultation. Restrictions apply and requires purchase of 3 or more windows or doors. Visit their new website, rbafla.com, for details. License number CGC 1527613.
Jaguars fans, we've made becoming a season ticket member easier than ever. We've created fan-friendly and flexible ticket options just for you. If you're concerned your financial situation may change, we're offering full refunds up to the start of the season. Defer up to 40% of your 2020 costs into next year with our 2-year agreements, or take advantage of interest-free 7-month payment plans. All designed to eliminate concerns you may have during these uncertain times and get you and your family back to football at the bank. Get all the details at Jaguars.com or by calling 904-633-2000.
Hi, folks. Frank Frangie here for Orange Environmental Services, the superstars at taking care of your pest control and your lawn. They mow our lawn, they treat our lawn, and they're the best in the business at pest control with Centricon Termite Protection. They are the superstars. I trust them. You should too. 272-3284. The superstars at taking care of your pest control and your lawn are Orange Environmental. Call them today at 272-3284.
Dishes for hours.
There's nothing like making a meal with every pot and pan you own.
Hours of dishes.
Savor every bite of this meal, Chef, because for dessert, you'll be having
So many dishes.
Ditch the dishes and get Taco Bell's $5 Chalupa Cravings Box instead. A Chalupa Supreme Beefy 5-layer burrito, crunchy taco, cinnamon twist, and a medium drink for only $5. Order ahead and get yours at Taco Bell's contactless drive-thru. At participating locations for a limited time. Prices may vary. Tax extra. Drinks exclude freezes.
Instant Keys delivers honest, professional locksmith service for lost, broken, or spare keys. Call Instant Keys at 722-1111. Get dealership-level service in just minutes at a fraction of the cost. That's 722-1111.
The flagship station of the Jaguars. WJXL AM Jacksonville Beach. WJXL FM Jacksonville Beach.
This is your Southeast Orthopedic Specialist local sports update. I'm Andrew Gibson for 1010XL. The NBA is set to return to action July 31st at Disney World. The league is inviting 22 teams, 13 from the Western Conference, 9 from the Eastern Conference, to play 8 regular season games and then the playoffs in Orlando. The NBA is planning to have daily testing for the coronavirus. Teams will begin training in July and resume the season July 31st. The NBA suspended its season on March 11th because of the coronavirus pandemic. Jaguars owner Shad Khan released an op-ed today that addresses the topic of racial injustice. You can read it at Jaguars.com. 82 degrees at 4 o'clock. Your time and temperature brought to you by Bueller Air Conditioning. Stay cooler with Bueller. More of the Frangie Show is coming up right now on 1010XL and 92.5 FM.
This 1010XL 92.5 FM hour is powered by Anajar and Levine Accident Attorneys. Call 904-600-4000. That's 904-600-4000.
It's a Kitchen and Flooring Design Center Wednesday on The Frangie Show on 1010XL 92.5 FM.
There's a reason, by the way, that we work in sports talk radio and not as mathematicians. Earlier this morning, I was listening to the drill, and Dan asked Beef what 32 times 3 is. And he said 66, and Dan said, good job. And they moved right along. And then people texted in, it's 96. And then we did not do math
We
properly.
didn't account for the two teams.
in
So
the
it's
last
88
segment.
games, not 170.
That would be correct. Yeah, not 176 games, 88 games. And I just went right along with you. But yeah, that's why
You know who's
we
good at that?
do Sports Talk Radio.
Joe C's good at that.
Math?
No, it's not just math. It's like reasoning, mathematical reasoning. He's very good at that.
I'm glad you didn't go to me because I wouldn't have known it.
Yeah,
either.
I'm terrible at stuff like that. I can use a calculator and Excel spreadsheets. I'm excellent.
Well, I was
at
over
those.
on my calculator on my computer. I'm trying to figure this out. I knew it wasn't right, and I kept thinking, wait, that's not right.
Oh, well.
Yeah,
We
88
try.
games.
You know what?
88
We
games.
try. All right. Frank and Hayes are on vacation this week, but it's always a Kitchen and Flooring Design Center Wednesday here on The Frangie Show. James Coleman, Matt Hayes, Andrew Gibson, and Lauren Brooks with you. Here's the reason that I believe the SEC is the best conference in the United States of America. Look at the national championship winners over the last decade, or a little slightly over a decade. You can even go back to like 2006 and then back, and then till now. The SEC almost always wins the national championship. And also, I think even if you took the teams who won, if you took even the runner-up in the SEC championships, I think those teams at times would have also won the national championship and beat up on some of those other teams. If you look at a top 10 right now, almost everyone has 2 Big Ten teams in there. That would be, like you said, Ohio State and Penn State. But then there's usually 4 SEC teams in there. Alabama, Georgia, LSU, and Florida. Now, granted, you can pick apart LSU. We've done that time and time again since they won the national championship. They're no longer going to have Joe Burrow. They're no longer going to have Joe Brady. And they lost 14 players to the SEC draft. But Edo can certainly recruit. That's why I'm assuming one of the reasons he's one of your favorite coaches, James. He's also one of my favorites as well. The SEC is just more well-rounded than any other conference. Can those top 2 teams from the Big Ten hang around? Of course. One of those 2 teams might be the national championship winner this coming season. But I don't believe that's going to happen. I still think it's going to be a team from the SEC or a team from the ACC because the South has all the players, and that's my argument.
I think the 2002 team in Georgia was, I'm going back all the way to when I played, was robbed. We played them in the Sugar Bowl. Good team. They should have been in the national championship due to the BCS. I think LSU stole the national championship in 2003.
They had 2 losses. Oh, wait, that was 2007. They had 2 losses.
I believe they stole one in 2007. I believe they were robbed. Was it 2009 when Alabama? No,
2009 was when Alabama won the national championship.
No, I'm saying when Alabama won. 2011.
Okay.
When LSU won the SEC championship.
Then had to play them again.
And then had to play Alabama again.
That was the game of the century year.
Now,
that was kind of boring. That game.
With what I feel.
Yeah.
Alabama, if you want to make the argument that Alabama is one of the greatest programs in the history of football, you have a solid argument.
For sure.
Because I'm looking at Alabama.
Well, 5. They've won 5 of the last 14.
That doesn't make your conference good. That means that
yes, it does.
That means that the best team in your conference beat on a given day beat the best team from another conference. Which again, it still means I'm never going to take anything from Alabama. But for years, the argument was Alabama is good, and everybody else says, look how good the SEC is because Alabama was good. And again, LSU has been doing that. Florida had their run, I would argue, from 06 to, when was Myers there, 06 to 10? But that was when he had his really good run.
06 to 10.
I would argue
correct.
that Florida was good. And everybody,
I'm about ready to crush your argument, but keep going.
But my thing is that you have no argument with the one team that's doing it. I got that. I mean, you have an argument with the one team that's doing it, but I just believe that if the playoff would have been all the way back, the current format we have, it probably would look a lot different. I remember that, like Georgia actually, I believe in the playoff, 2002 Georgia would have won. But I believe 2003, if we would have had a playoff, I would have been in that bad boy with Florida State. That 2003 Florida State team would have had a shot. LSU, it's a lot of different things. Like that's all I'm saying is it's not that and I want people to understand it. It's not that the SEC isn't any good. They are damn good. I just believe the Big Ten has a really, really solid argument for the best overall. That's all.
Right, I'm not disagreeing with that. But if you're looking at let's go since 2006 when the SEC started their run. Mm-hmm. They went 7 straight, and then FSU's team in 2013 snapped it with that last drive, or it would have been even more. So they've won 10 of the last 14, right?
Mm-hmm.
And it's not just Alabama. Alabama's won 5. Auburn's won 1. Florida's won 2. LSU's won 2. Georgia has played for one. So if you want to really look at it, now let's go to the Big Ten. Ohio State has won a national championship in that span in 2014. I'm almost positive because Ohio State played. Yeah, no other team. Ohio State played for it against Florida and LSU, so that's 3. Other than that, no one else in that league has even played for one.
Right. I'm not.
So I think that if you start talking about championships,
right,
then it's not even close. But I agree with your original point last segment. I completely agree with.
I'm talking about top to bottom.
If you look at top to bottom right now, especially this season, you absolutely can make an argument that the Big Ten is right there with the SEC. Absolutely.
Their SEC is dope. It's really good. It's just you can't tell me Vanderbilt strikes fear in anybody.
Nobody's making that argument.
But I'm saying for every Vanderbilt,
but I bet
there's
Kentucky
Duke.
could beat Michigan. That's what I would bet.
Possibly I mean, Kentucky's rising.
And
Kentucky's a middle
not-
tier. I consider Michigan a middle tier program, paying a coach top tier money off of the hype of what he did when he was in the NFL, which was like we're getting to where kids won't even remember that anymore. The quarterback that he did it with hasn't even played in 3-4 years. His last time Colin Kaepernick played. That's the guy he did it with. So I mean, it's got to be longer. He's been at Michigan for a while.
So I'm going to tell you this, and I'm not going to name this coach because he told me this off the record. And I'm not going to name him. Okay.
Okay.
There are way more chances to lose against middle to lower tier teams in the SEC than there is in the Big Ten. It's just there are more traps, and it's not just because there are better players, and there are better players in the middle to lower in the SEC. It's the environments of which you go into. The dangerous environment which you go. Rutgers is not a big environment. Maryland's not a big environment. Northwestern's not a big environment. Purdue's not a big environment. Illinois is not a big. You're not going into places like that where you're nervous. You go to Ole Miss, that place is crazy, man. Crazy.
I'll say that environments are great, but if you're a good team, you can shut it up.
No question.
I've been to Florida when it was rocking, and I've heard it be where you could drop a pin.
No question.
But what I'll say is this too:
it's also dudes.
That reason why is if people were being just looking in the mirror and being transparent, you really play outside of LSU this year, and even the Meyer offenses. Top to bottom, you play a very boring brand of football. It's very good defense, very solid running games, and quarterback play that isn't really sexy. Like Trask can be good, but Joe Burrow was exciting because Joe Burrow was nothing like what we've consistently seen. What made Tebow great was Tebow was able to do it on both sides, running and throwing.
Cam Newton.
Like you'll have the guy at the top. But Tua was good. But what did it take? It took Saban to open up his offense. But for years, Saban has had like the guy who actually fits Saban is Mac Jones. Right. Is more of what really fits Saban. A safe quarterback that does not lose the game. It's
hard to argue with 3 national championships.
Saban's so damn good that he took a backup from Florida State and won a national championship with them.
I agree. My point is it's hard to argue with 3 national championships.
But no, and I'm not arguing with the format. But when you have the dominant guys, those can do it. But that's why you can get trapped.
Right.
Because Kentucky, what does the Kentucky do? They have a great defense. They had a great running back, who I believe is he coming? He's coming.
No,
he's gone. He's gone. So
gone.
Great quarterback, great running back. Well, now they got a good quarterback. Hopefully, we'll see. I don't know if he gets cleared, but we'll see what they have at quarterback. But that's kind of the things that why they can play Florida to the wire every year and somehow shoot themselves in the foot consistently. Tennessee, similar. Again, and I say all that to say, which I love Wisconsin football, which is really truly boring football, except for they rush for a lot of yards.
It's crawl ball.
Yeah,
but it's beautiful. It's beautiful to watch them play.
But when
I think you just made our point of why the SEC is better, and you spoke to the fact that it's the defensive players. It's the speed, it's the athleticism, it's the physicality of the defensive players. All offenses can be successful if you put your players in the right scheme, what fits them best. But the defensive players on the SEC teams as a whole are better than every other conference.
You know what it means is that you can win a lot of games with a great running game and a great defense, whether you're from Pop Warner all the way up to the NFL.
That's been forever, right?
That's always been the thing.
Right.
But when I look at what from top to bottom, again, this is just all I'm saying, and I'm looking at the records from what they're able to do in the Big Ten. A lot more of these guys are starting to open up their offenses and throwing the ball and flinging it around the field. So again, it's really it's an argument about who are the top 2 conferences in football. So you should be able to have like little minute differences. Now, the difference between the top 2, top to bottom, and 3, it's vast. Like I can't even.
Yeah, I agree.
I can't even, or I'll even say the difference between them and the ACC is vast. Like there is no most of the middle teams in the ACC. Probably it would be a really good competition with Kentucky, Tennessee, and those guys like that. But they're like I named to me those 4 that I named in the West are the top 4 teams in the SEC. Then you throw in Florida could go anywhere up and down that list. Like we know, like our top 5 in the ACC, it doesn't compete with the top 5 in the SEC or the Big Ten. You got to go to maybe the Pac-12, Big 12 before you have that combo.
But at some point in time, if Florida State gets back on track, if Miami can ever get back on track, then that's when we'll have that conversation. And I think we'll get to the point where it goes SEC 1. I'll never put the SEC anywhere other than 1. Right. But SEC 1, ACC 2, Big Ten 3. That's how it should be at this point in time.
Yeah, it's cyclical, and it's about who's. The other reason why those two conferences are the top is because those are the 2 conferences that really have committed and care about overall athletic budgets, and typically the football.
I agree.
When I look at Alabama,
well, it's where the most TV money is too. That's why.
And that's why Saban can dream something, and they'll build it for him at this point. Like I don't even know why a football museum is important, but he wants that.
So
it doesn't make any sense.
It
doesn't. I mean, it doesn't make any sense. But like he has a chow hall, or excuse me, I say chow. That's the military stuff. But he has the training table, which is the size of 1010XL headquarters, for them just to eat. A few meals, and it's just for football. Nobody else gets to go there. So, I mean, those are the things that everybody else is competing with and catching up. So until the ACC really has from top to bottom people committing the money, which they won't, you'll see that.
What does James think of new FSU head coach Mike Norvell? We will get to that and go maybe a little bit into the Pro Football Focus rankings of the top 50 NFL players. That's all coming up next on The Frangie Show on 1010XL.
Now, the Lamb Rant, brought to you by the Best Bet Card Rooms at Jacksonville and Orange Park.
Get out your book of cliches. Many of them fit the situation. Early bird gets the worm is as good as any to describe what I'm talking about. UFC and NASCAR came out of the shutdown first, and they've been rewarded with millions of new fans. Will those fans stay? Some of them will. Golf put on a couple of star-filled exhibitions, and the results were mind-blowing. Golf greats Tiger Woods and Phil Mickelson paired with football greats Peyton Manning and Tom Brady, and the result was the most-watched televised golf ever. Obviously, the power of the NFL was at work. Tiger and Lefty are still golf's greatest draws. And there was no competition from other live sports. Sports fans are starving for live competition. Why isn't baseball listening? Our national pastime, baseball is drowning and won't even reach for a lifeline.
The Frangie Show, live from the law offices of Brett Hastings' studio on 1010XL 92.5 FM.
Dr. Carlson has provided premium dental services to the Jacksonville area for over 30 years. Carlson Dental Group's priority is patient experience and satisfaction. Our biggest referrals are from our own patients. I've been one for more than 10 years. Carlson Dental Group also has the most innovative technology and equipment to give our patients the best dental results and long-lasting health. From dental